Joker said it best: memories can be vile, repulsive little brutes. While not every minute of DC and Warner Brothers' animated adaptation of the controversial Batman the Killing Joke is anywhere near vile nor repulsive, some scenes do come off a little too brutal or even awkwardly salacious, potentially marring an otherwise more than memorable roughly hour and a half. However, most of these moments are, again in Joker's rhetoric, there to prove a point, and in my eyes, anything but unnecessary. Let me save you some time. I enjoyed Batman the Killing Joke. Go watch it, read it better yet, after or before the film like I did. If you're not familiar, Alan Moore's eponymous one-shot shocked readers in 1988 with its gruesome origin story of Batman's most laughably lethal clown. Joker has escaped incarceration, but this time targets not only the Dark Knight himself, but a more grizzled Gotham police commissioner, Jim Gordon, and his daughter, Barbara, really Batgirl's alter ego. Unsurprisingly, and more often spectacularly, the new adaptation largely maintains in motion the same twisted tale as the comic did panel by panel, forcing an ear-to-ear grin for a new generation, whether viewers like it or not. Cloaked and prowling shadows are caked with muted colors. Visually, the animation is in keeping with modern WB movie tradition. There's a visible increase in details here, like Venetian blinds cast on a tense hospital room floor, or the pattering of rain as it pelts a rusty and disfigured carnival ride. WB successfully mixes their traditional animation talents with some subtle digital effects, such as motion blur in the few but decently choreographed combat scenes. Joker's Throne of Dolls, a steeped mound of Maine porcelain babies, for example, looks as nightmarish as it did in the comics, as do many of the carnies at carnival attractions, fitting the mind-bending, cruel aesthetic. Unfortunately not as rare as it should be. Some backgrounds are inconsistently plain, more jarring than these other detail-drenched shots, feeling empty and a little too sleek or hyper-hygienic for the gothic grime of Gotham. These betray Brian Boland's original comic art, where you'd expect pyres of garbage, obscene graffiti plastered on fractured funhouse mirrors, or even a few puddles of anything but water stinking on the clogged, rat-infested streets. If you're a fan of Bruce Timm and Company's animation output, then this movie will look exactly as you'd expect, and this is why it's somewhat disappointing for such an anticipated adaptation, with some shots being a treat while others are puzzlingly barren. The film's faithfulness in frequently replicating panel by panel the images of the comic is laudable, and for the most part relieves some of these inconsistencies, extending well into the script, especially with career-topping performances. We all know Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman, definitively, no debate. While he's emerged off and on with Conroy by his side, Mark Hamill is just as much the de facto Joker, returning this time with storied voice actress Tara Strong, who voices a moody but grounded Batgirl. Hamill delivers his greatest performance yet as the Joker since the Arkham games, breathing to life his songs of spite and spitting dark humor. That's why it's disheartening the score is unable to keep up with the quality of the performances, serviceable and fading immediately. Only during the sepia-stained flashback sequences, playing slow noir blues, does the score become more than forgettable. Perfect mood music for a downtrodden deadbeat, and Hamill shines here too. It's called Killing Joke for a reason, and every cackle here is chilling with Joker on edge to say the least. Conroy as Batman is as stoic as required, but there's an odd gentleness to the otherwise overwhelming gruff when speaking to Batgirl, or even Joker. This is a Batman that ends, desperate to reach some sort of conclusion with the Joker, and Conroy gives sensitivity to the Dark Knight where it matters. The final scene in particular is one of the most powerfully poignant moments in all of Batlore thanks to the duo's performance. Certainly some of the lines are ham-fisted, hammered a little too deep into that bloodier R rating. A menstruation joke here or there, or other frankly throwaway one-liners seem disparate from the largely confident writing. They compete with themselves for grit factor, chasing the infamous letters of Alan Moore's yarn, rather than paying homage to them. They do their job before dutifully diverting to the next speech directly adopted from the comic, which is arguably the least disagreeable aspect when discussing the all-new additions to The Killing Joke. It needs noting that the first half hour of Batman the Killing Joke is not the Killing Joke at all. Rather, it's best described as a Batgirl prologue, complete with an unrelated original subplot and a new villain, Paris, France. Yes, that's his actual name. A lovely, loathful narcissist crime prince who's infatuated with Batgirl, or at least the idea of her. This is important. This arc may seem initially like pointless filler updates, but I posit actually parallels the latest and what will undeniably become the most contentious addition to the Killing Joke canon. Which, for the sake of not making this a 20-minute video, you'll have to read my full review on beabot.com to hear my thoughts on. Check it out, you might be surprised because even if the movie is marred by what occurs in Batgirl's arc for some viewers, it's deliberate, it's meant to be shocking and uncomfortable and deserves merit for its success in this alone. Although I appreciated Barbara's expanded role and everything that this update entails, it really doesn't do much to pass the Bechdel test that the graphic novel material never even registered a bar on. Then again, this is not the point of storytelling, nor this review. No, the entire story is meant to prove a point. It's trying to take your sanity, your grip of this established world, and the safety of its seemingly sterling but often static characters. It's trying to prove that point and push you beyond it. It revels in the shock value and illustrating the madness and dark tragedy of the Joker as a blight to Batman, the Gordons, and Gothamites, while being an all too intimate character study barely about the Bat himself. Does the movie do it with the same power and artistry as the original comic? No, but the story and its execution does the same. It shreds the veneer of the fandom's most beloved characters and their preconceived notions of their heroes' identities, putting them nude to portray the plights of fate, of innocuous injustice, of having just one bad day. And for this, Batman the Killing Joke is as timeless and humanly flawed, as lethal as ever. This has been Hayden Robel for beatbyte.com, and unlike Joker, I hope you have a great day. Until next time, thanks for watching.